Hello everyone!
Hello everyone!
And the car could go to burning.
I'm Marco Biagioli.
And I'm Erika Melargo.
So, are you together? No. No? Would you like to be together?
No! We don't know who we are and who we want to become.
Especially me.
So we travel the world, interviewing and bothering people.
A lot.
Hello everyone!
Here we are!
I think that I clapped my hands too hard.
Too hard.
Never too hard.
It's never too, oh, nice! Asking them our questions about themselves and their stories.
So you're a director.
Yes.
Where does your passion come from? Where did you start? What's your story?
Trying to understand who we are and perhaps the reasons behind our personalities.
What brought you here? Pleasure. Pleasure? Yes, with who?
Travel with us if you feel a bit lost in yourself.
Never see so many sausages all together, okay?
Likewise. And you are up for a laugh.
I received a message from the government, right?
Kindness, diversity and truth is what we're looking for.
I have a kick-ass question.
I know, you go for it. Yeah.
So, have you had a bath in the lake?
Celebrating the paths, adventures and struggle.
The father, how long have you been a priest for?
Some of these stories will inspire you and help you make sense of your life and who you are.
It's like I want to become an artist, I want to become an actor. The fact of being respected and
Well, let's get started.
that's okay with you. Christine.
Yes, hello.
Hello, hi, how's it going?
Good, thank
Oh,
you.
sorry.
Yes, awesome. Yeah,
You have
yeah.
lovely hair.
Oh,
you
you're
arrive here.
gorgeous,
like an
Oh, thank you. I actually gave you the compliment because I wanted to get that one in return.
Yes,
So,
well,
it's on
it's very
purpose.
good hair.
Thank you. Yeah. I take care of them. You arrive here like a
Yes.
model with his hair and the
I know,
dress.
yeah, music center, like.
Yes, and what do? Are you a model?
Definitely not. No. No, I work in Belfast City Council.
Okay.
And I work as a culture and tourism manager at the moment.
Nice. Okay. Do you like it?
Yes, it's a super job. It's a temporary job
Okay.
just at the moment, but hopefully,
How long will it last?
Hopefully, I'm going to apply, and maybe I might get it, or maybe not. But it'll be an honour to work with the team. In the
Okay,
Belfast
yes.
City Council, yes.
Okay, I'm sure they're watching right now, and they can keep an eye.
So they will confirm.
Yeah.
If you want to have a supermodel working as a city council, I mean, come on. How many times are you gonna have, right? Someone like me. How many job applications, right?
So I didn't know that there were like temporary counselor, and then of course you.
Yes, yes. So it's from really last March. So we were all sent home with COVID, so we all had to rush home and work from home. So it's been a very strange time to become a manager in the role, but everyone's managed to cope okay with online. You know, the online staring at the screen. So
I know.
it's good to get out.
I do that a lot. Yeah,
Yes,
I got
there's
pretty
a lot of
weird
stream.
after during the
Yes.
pandemic. I was
Yeah,
weird
yeah,
there with before, but weirder now. And thank you so much for dressing with the same color as Erica.
Yes,
Thank
And
you.
also-
We are matching.
We need to match
We had to
guests.
coordinate. Yes.
Exactly.
Did you not get the memo?
No, sorry. No, sorry, it's me. And okay, so what do you do during? What's your routine now? What does a city council do?
So in the city council, we
Do you play
really
cards,
are-
ping pong, drink beer?
No, we work really hard, and our
Okay.
role really is.
It sounds generic, you know. We work very hard.
No, we really do, and we work in partnership. We
You
work
can
so much in
lie down if
partnership.
you want. Now you're in the middle.
Yes, there's a lot of partnership working, so we really can't do anything in the city without working closely with organisations such as the Oh Yeah Centre, where we are at the moment.
Yeah,
we work
what is
closely
a Oh Yeah Center?
Oh
Do
Yeah,
they go
we
like, oh yeah?
Yeah,
Is that the
yeah,
commercial?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
It's a very positive statement, you
Yeah.
know.
I love that.
Yeah, and I think it's
It's better than oh no Center.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Plus, I got the same thing
Oh
when
no.
no, when I entered the place.
Oh
then,
yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
And then you go,
cool.
can I play music here? Oh no.
Well, I mean, there's a stage up there.
There's a
if you like
stage,
to,
yeah.
You know, there's studios upstairs, there's
Yeah.
recording studios.
What's the
There's-
purpose of this Oh Yeah Center?
So it's a place. Now, Charlotte is the manager here, and she's absolutely
Oh, yes,
fantastic. She has really brought to life this building.
Yes.
She's provided the facilities for local artists, young people.
The red
doing all
couch,
kinds
uh,
of- yes, here they can hang out. There's a little cafe.
Thank you so much, and
Mhm.
applause to
Yes.
this.
There's like different levels where you can
Okay.
go for training, workshops, Saturday morning lessons.
Have you tried any one of these? I don't know, lessons
the
or
workshops.
workshops?
Yeah, well, I play the violin, so I would go
Okay.
to another centre. It's more traditional music.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But here,
Do you play the
it's,
the violin as
yes.
well as a second job?
no,
I don't know why
definitely
you're a
not.
city council
No, you
day.
need earmuffs for my violin.
Okay.
Yes, everyone runs away. So.
No.
I'm not
Do
in
they
the
call the
orchestra.
police? Yeah.
Yeah.
She's playing again.
But
And-
here it's really cool rock music and
Yeah.
DJs, and then you have traditional music of all different.
You're really
genres.
hooked with the place.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
We're really proud to fund it as well
Yeah.
as a city council. So that's what we do. Is we help bring happiness to people through supporting culture and artists and so on, and make
Nice.
people's
Okay.
lives better and bring people together. You know,
Yeah.
create more social cohesion between people here in Belfast.
Yeah. Is this bringing happiness to other people? Does this fulfill your heart and your mind? How do you feel? Is that what you wanted to do in life?
It's my deep desire to work in a job that means that it makes other people happy.
Okay.
So I recognise that culture is a way to make people feel more fulfilled,
Okay.
to know
Yes.
that who they are and know what their talents are and know that they have
Actually,
a
it's
role.
a great speech.
in the
We should
city.
write this
I
down.
love
Yeah.
that.
Joe Biden wants
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we have a really wonderful Lord Mayor as well,
Okay,
actually.
nice.
Yes, so she's from New Zealand actually originally.
Oh, okay.
but
Where are
she
you
lives
from?
here with her
So the
family.
Lord Mayor of Belfast is from New Zealand.
Yes.
Amazing.
Oh, South Africa.
South
Sorry,
Africa.
South Africa,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's going to kill me.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, she's fantastic. And she's
Okay.
really energetic, and she works to very much profile the work of the artists and the organisations.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, and she cycles everywhere as well.
Okay, yeah, we can see there's a red cycle bike.
Yes, yeah.
there. And so let's get to know you a little bit better. You know,
Okay.
like what's your when do you start? Did you go to school? Did you go to university? Did you just jump into a work? How did it happen?
I studied French. I lived in France.
Okay.
And then came home to Belfast because it's the best
What did you do in France?
city in the world.
Oh, you studied the word.
Yeah.
What does it mean studying the world?
Well, Belfast is the best city in the world, so I came
Okay,
to Belfast.
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
So I tried Paris, but still Belfast was the best. So,
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So
What do you think why should you think that people should come in Belfast for?
Belfast will give you a unique welcome. People will give you a
absolutely true.
sincere story about themselves, about their city. There's a humour here. People are genuine.
You know, I have goosebumps because this is
It's
absolutely
exactly true.
Yeah,
every
yeah.
cab we took, every walk we made, and speaking with locals, talking to locals.
We have been saying this for the past couple of months, and we have been here just for a couple of days.
So it looks like
We started before,
Yes.
but no, it's true
Yeah,
actually. At the airport and at the hotel, and the
Everywhere,
taxi
yes,
drivers
yeah.
and you.
It's the
and,
eye contact. Because then I lived in Paris and I was meeting people in the eye and they didn't like that.
No,
They were frightened because why was this person looking at me?
maybe
Yes,
you had
yes,
a
yes.
knife
so-
on your hand.
Yeah.
That's why
No,
they were scared.
that wasn't me. That wasn't
That
me.
was yeah.
plus, we can see that everyone, each and everyone was a storyteller. They were actually telling us
Yes.
stories from the
Yes.
past,
Yeah.
from nowadays, from their personal life, and everything about Belfast. We loved it.
Yes.
That's because we had the cameras and they wanted to be interviewed. Yeah.
No, it was
Everybody wants to
sudden
be on TV. Yeah.
conversation, you know.
There's a saying: the strangers are friends you have not yet met. Do you know?
it's true,
so
yeah.
It's a story that
It's true.
everyone is welcome here in Belfast, and everyone has their own story about the city and about.
This is
they're really
beautiful.
curious
This
about
is-
visitors. You know.
You're
So-
speaking love. No, it's true. An applause to this. An applause to this. I love it.
There's so much love.
Yes, yeah, no. Let's do it all together. Yeah, art, and then we do it all together.
But, yeah.
Oh. No, but I love it. Yeah.
So we're delighted to work with Tourism Northern Ireland and Tourism Ireland, and it's all about embracing the giant spirit because it reflects those, the giant's causeway, but also about the people's giant
Yeah.
love. And
Absolutely. Yes.
welcome,
We thank them as well because
Yeah.
they are our biggest supporters
Yes.
on
Yes.
these when I post
Yes.
Northern Ireland as well.
Tourism Ireland, Tourism Northern Ireland.
yes.
Thank you.
And and then you started. So you studied, and then you went to France.
Studied French in
French,
Belfast, went to live in Paris.
And how long have you lived in France before coming back?
1.5 years.
Okay.
And then I went back for another 6 months, working as a translator and as a journalist role.
Okay. Like us.
So yes, but then just got a
We're
job.
TV presenters. Oh, that's fine. Just for the audience, I don't want them to be confused. The Macanderic are just journalists.
Yeah. What is-
TV presenters.
Yes, very high level.
Exactly. A journalist here. TV presenter here. But no, okay, so you worked as a journalist.
Yes.
So here? No, just.
But I'd done like summer jobs in the tourism office. And so I was really interested in tourism, about talking about my place and home, and so proud. So then there was a job and applied and got it and so on. And then realised that actually what made all this wonderful city was all the artists and all the
Nice.
venues and the look and feel and the places you could go to, people you could meet. And you need venues in the city. And you need artists to come up with the really wonderful ideas for events and festivals. And
You should have called us.
we have over 80 festivals. Like
Nice.
80 festivals
Per
in
year
Belfast.
or-
per year. So
it's
more
one
than
every 4
one a week.
days.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Some last for like 3 days, others last for 10 days, but there's always something happening.
Amazing. Yeah.
So many gigs and live music across the city.
Okay.
Wonderful little bars and cafes, little entries. Do you know what an entry is?
A place where you.
Little arcades between streets.
Did you say you know what an entry?
Yes, it's called an entry.
Okay, so it's where you enter. A
Well,
place.
yes, yes, but
I mean, my house has an entry.
Is in
The
between
little narrow-
tiny streets,
yes,
narrow
yes.
streets.
And we have decorated them all with lights.
Is it when there is a small?
Yes, a little
It's a small street that's
yes.
called an entry.
Yes,
It's fascinating.
Yes.
I love that.
So we've there's so much history and stories around our entries.
Yeah.
Like the way Belfast used to be, used to welcome all the goods in. up the river. You used to run up the middle of the street, and they used to bring everything down these little entries.
Nice.
So there's lots of characters. So we've told the story through like lovely, beautiful writing on the wall, or murals, or lighting, and so you can learn about the through yourself. You know.
I love it. I love it.
You know,
Amazing.
good
Yeah.
atmosphere.
And the first question that comes up when you see one of these tiny streets is, why is it so tiny? You know.
Yes, almost
So
so
now
you have
we're-
to bend down because the people
Oh,
were
really?
smaller.
I haven't seen so small.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
yeah.
some little ones you have to bend down.
No double meanings here, okay? Tiny, small, too much, yeah. Too much.
Actually, it reminds me a bit of the Calli and Campielli in Venice,
Yes,
which are very,
yes,
very
that's
tiny.
right.
So,
Same
so is
idea,
there
yes.
is there a connection, historical connection?
I
do you
think
think?
it's
Maybe
just
they copied
entries in
them?
Irish and
the Victorian cities of that era used to be have that structure. So then some of them didn't flatten everything. We were lucky during the war, nothing, or there were things happened, but
Actually, I think it might come from the Romans, because they were doing tiny streets not to have
the carriages.
The carriages.
to
Yes.
enter
Yes.
inside, so to be quiet and
Exactly, so they-
be all just for the residents.
Maybe, yes.
Is there
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
yeah, and now
And I think it goes even beyond, probably the caveman. He was like
the Bronze Age. I mean,
Bronze
Ireland
Age,
as a Bronze Age thing.
Yeah.
Ice Age.
Stories goes back quite
Yes,
far
that's
in
a
Ireland,
very
right?
yeah.
So it could be.
Yes.
Okay, too far.
Too far.
So, what are you working on at the moment?
So at the moment we have a new tourism plan coming out.
Okay.
We are waiting to hear about a UNESCO City of Music bid for
Okay.
UNESCO. So we don't know, we'll know in maybe 5 weeks. But we
Okay.
hope. And even if we don't get UNESCO, we're going to have a wonderful City of Music programme.
Okay,
Because
nice.
there's some brilliant musicians from here, Van Morrison.
Oh, yes,
Rory
okay.
And you're
Gallagher,
planning
Ash.
on promoting Belfast music?
Yes,
And
we
musicians, I guess.
Yes,
musicians, yeah.
absolutely. We send them places, we celebrate them here at festivals.
Nice.
They're known themselves, or
Yeah.
they're winning prizes. So we've got some
Yes.
really good stuff coming out. So
I love it. Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Are you planning on being one of those musicians?
Not good enough. They're
We need
much
to promote the music.
There are so much better people than me.
Oh, no, that's not.
No.
I mean,
I mean, you
there is a lot
you
of
are
people.
investing in them.
Yes.
And,
yes.
Maybe you meant that there is people that is focusing 100% just on the music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some.
Because I'm sure that if you wanted, if you from tomorrow, if you start focusing 100% on violin or whatever, guitar or singing,
Maybe no, I just don't know if I have that level of talent. But there are some.
or maybe not today,
So,
you
yeah.
can have it in 1 or 2 years' time. If you start tomorrow, then
Yes, I think I'm too old for that maybe now.
no.
But there are some fantastic.
You're like 17 now. I would never ask you, but,
You're very young.
Yeah, very young. Yes, yeah. And with this dress, you go straight to 11, 12. Yeah. What's in
Yes.
your personal pipeline?
Well,
Personal.
personal.
Maybe
well,
a date, any
I'm
date?
going to Paris next month.
Okay.
My husband's going to run the Paris Marathon.
Okay.
And,
So not dating there. Yeah.
no dating.
As an husband, guys, hold on, you're loose metal.
So that's big travel plan. And, then loads
Because of the
festivals.
husband or because of the Paris?
Where would you go in Belfast? You personally, which venue would you choose?
Well, I really like the Black Box, which is just up the street, around the corner. You probably walk past it.
Okay.
It's really cool, eclectic. It's got a gallery, a little coffee bar, as well as a bigger stage area, but it's really cozy feeling. I love the way they program. And then I really like the Mac, which is really like shows.
You're just-
Yes, the Lyric Theatre as well. I was there last night seeing a play. It's a great place. Loads of
Actually, I have a question about the because you know the city so well, right? And you promote the. Is there any particular place in Belfast that you think could be a great venue or a great space for artists, musicians, or to improve the arts, and is not being used at the moment and it should be used?
Yes, we're actually looking at different open vacant spaces in the
Okay.
city because we know
Like
that,
churches, something like this?
well, churches have been really well used for,
Okay.
for cultural kind of settings, and there's one fantastic one in North Belfast.
Mm-hmm.
It has a great stained glass window. It's called the Duncairn Arts Centre,
Okay,
run
don't
by
care.
a guy called Ray, and he's talks really quickly, and he organises these things called Super Sundays. Where all the local
What's his
people-
name again?
Ray.
Ray, if you're watching, you have to talk slowly.
If we can see it.
He survives on coffee. But yeah, he's
We do that too,
Maybe
yeah.
he's Italian.
Maybe he's
No, he welcomes all the local neighbourhoods, and they bring like their children, and they can get brunch, they can listen to music, they can play music, they can
Nice.
draw, they can write poetry.
They can play
just
and listen
try
music at the same
things.
time.
Yes,
Okay,
we're
nice.
quite clever here in
Yes.
Belfast. Yeah.
One highlight from the Belfast cultural strategy from you, because you are managing it with the team at the City Council.
So basically, there's 4 themes. So it's all about knowing our communities and diversity and exploring the world and Belfast's place in the world. I think that's so important because we're at the edge of Europe here. It feels definitely like we, that we're kind of edgy. You know, because we're
Yes,
on the
yeah,
edge.
of
I
course,
love
yeah,
that.
of course, yeah,
That
yes.
sense of, we can be creative, but we can also benefit from seeing the rest of the world. And,
Yes.
but I
You would
think-
like to have more people from Europe here, perhaps?
Yes,
Would you encourage
we
anyone from
would-
Europe
we-
to come here and live?
Absolutely. No, we would love people to come, and we
It's
really
so
have
nice. So you
such
speak
a
in love.
diverse-
I love it.
such a diverse
Yes.
society here. Like we really do, and I've actually had that remarked to me that people think it's wonderful that we welcome people into
Yeah.
our rowing clubs, sports clubs, and we're kind of really interested in people. We're
No, I
curious,
love that. I mean,
Is
you're,
it true that you are a rower yourself?
yes, yeah.
you are amazing. Really, thank you so much for being with us on the show. You're really speaking our same language.
Thank
you so much, Christina.
Thank you.
And let's embrace at this point. Mwah.
We can't
I know, but we can't for protocols. You did deprive leopard from his skin to make this
Little bit
shirt.
of leopard skin. Considering I didn't know I was doing this interview today, I would have dressed up for the occasion, but yeah, I decided on leopard print this morning.
Charlotte is a very busy businesswoman,
Yeah.
as she created this space, right?
You're the
founder.
executive of the
Well,
Centre,
yes,
right?
so I run the OES Centre here. I didn't create this centre. I can't take credit for it.
First, how did you come up with the name? I mean,
So-
yeah.
Oh,
How do you
yeah.
pronounce it? With the thumbs up?
Oh yeah, it
Okay.
is. It is. We named the centre after a song by a band called Ash.
Ash, okay. Oh yeah, Ash, yeah.
And they have a song called Oh Yeah, and why Oh Yeah?
How does he do the song?
Oh yeah, she was taking me over. Do you know?
Okay.
Oh yeah, star of the summer.
Okay, we'll have a look. We can probably play a little bit. if
Oh my
we-
god, that's so
But
famous.
also, yeah.
No, not that you were.
I hope
Oh,
Ash
yeah.
don't see that. Sorry, Tim. Yeah, and it was a positive affirmation. Northern Ireland was coming out of a dark period. And the peace agreement had been signed, and it was 10 years into the peace agreement, and it's like we need something positive. And the city needs a place for musicians to come together, to network, to create, and that's kind of what happened.
Why did you want to do this type of business? Because you could have done any kind of business, right? but you wanted to help the community, not just how you found you were able to put your hands on these, but what kind of need are you fulfilling within moving forward with a community project?
Yeah, well, Northern Ireland is a small place.
Okay.
We don't have any music industry of the bigger companies based here.
Okay.
A lot of industry, a lot of artists have had to move away.
Okay.
The people that created this centre had great contacts in the music industry. They had a background in the music industry.
Oh, okay.
And the idea was that we needed a place for musicians to come together and learn more about the industry, have better access to the industry. So we're set up as a charity. So everything we do goes back into what we do for the community. And we believe that music is unites people, is a catalyst for change. So everything that we do is about using world-class music that is made here and doing something good with it, but also developing talent and helping artists to take it to the next level.
Yes.
We also have a stage.
That's amazing, the help that you can give. Sorry if I come back to the question. I wanted to know because so it is my understanding that this business it's about the community and it's got the appearance and taste and the smell and everything for the community, right? So instead I wanted to know, because other businesses are built around a person. So why did you say? How does it fulfill you? Maybe if there was something, maybe you grew up in a certain way, and you wanted to give back to the community. Maybe you wanted to meet more people. There is something that you do for yourself.
Yeah, I like working with people and I love music. My background is I wrote about music, I promoted shows, small shows, became very involved in the grassroots scene. And was created as a music charity. Yeah. But they needed somebody that had music background, and the two together meant that I could help the wider community. But also fulfill that sort of belief and passion that music from here can have a place on the world stage. So we kind of have everything, like I say, from developing artists right through to young people coming through the doors to learn how to do something or spend time after school here.
Have you had any successful story from
young people coming?
Yeah, so coming out of here, we can't take credit for the talent, we never do, but we've spotted good talent early on. So we've had people like Soak, who's signed to Rough Trade. And was a Mercury Prize nominee.
Nice.
And was
you supported these music and everything.
She was really supportive of our youth program. Two Door Cinema Club recorded their first ever single upstairs.
And applause to this. You see, it's always good to have support.
We support a lot of very early stages and emerging. So there's some people are still moving in that direction, And like I say, we wouldn't take credit for the talent, but people do come here and they'll want to use the space, or they'll play a gig, or they'll rehearse or record,
Right.
So.
And I'm gonna go in a off road. Like I'm gonna throw myself in an opinion. But now if you want to order a taxi, there are like 10 different applications, even more than that probably. And so there is a lot of incentives for technology and becoming an engineer, but what about the support for art? So musicians, painters, sculptures. Do you think that we should need more investment in arts and music and singers? Because there's loads of people that want to do this. And instead
of pouring majority of the money into technology, and even though of course that's
it's like we need drones. Now we need drones to deliver. This is just very very much an opinion, but what do you think?
Absolutely need investment in the arts and music, particularly in Northern Ireland, where we have the least investment in the whole of the UK and Ireland. Music, art, culture, creativity, the place would be very dark and dull without any of it. I think that people forget that without the artists and the music and the creativity, the technology would be a little bit boring. And actually creatives are involved in that technology. And the contribution that music and art makes to the economy, to society, to people's mental health and well-being.
Oh, absolutely, yes, of course. Yeah.
Sometimes it's very hard to measure art and music, and I think that's why sometimes governments struggle with supporting it.
Yeah.
But it is.
Well, if
it
you
is
sell records,
crucial,
you measure
crucial.
it. Yeah, you can measure the money that you bring into the country. Yeah.
Whereas sometimes how do you measure an experience is
Yes.
sometimes difficult for music, you know. So
Erica, did you?
Probably from the amount of people that can't watch
Yeah.
the experiences. So I think the community can be a sort of
The community feeling, yeah.
the data for the government to
Yeah.
keep doing this, because this is benefiting the community as a whole.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Thank you so much, Charlotte, for being with us. Yeah, you're amazing. Love your project and your passion. All together. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, something else. No, you didn't do it. Yeah, let's do this.
Oh
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love that we had this cold beer. Awesome. Where am I?
You're in. I can see
Am
you.
I in?
You are in shot, for sure.
One second.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
Nice. I like that. I mean, I quite need to be in the frame.
You are in the frame.
I think that I am a wonderful frame.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm in a kind of good-looking sandwich here.
1 second. Good looking
You're a lucky girl.
I'm the ugly person in the middle. So.
No.
You are beautiful. Don't say that.
Sorry, sorry.
Never say that. Nobody should ever say that, you know?
Okay. I'm beautiful on the inside.
And the outside as well.
You are beautiful.
Yeah, cool.
Welcome with Mark and Erica.
We are in Belfast.
We are in Belfast and today we are having a look at the street art together with our amazing tour guide and artist. Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Adam.
Adam. Adam, what's your story? You grew up here.
Yeah, lived here my whole
Yeah,
life.
you have a long beard. You're a
This is
philosopher.
this is my pandemic.
Are you
beard.
wise? Are
I am not wise.
Are you wiser than the average?
Do you know we have an expression in Belfast which is literally "You're not wise." You're not wise. Like
That's why you grew up beard. You can say, yeah, actually my beard.
I am. This is literally my pandemic beard. So I grew it because just to see how that would work in a pandemic, and here we are. I kind of was gonna shave it whenever I got my second vaccination, and then I got my second vaccination, and I was like,
do you think it would have brought you good luck for the
it's
vaccination?
like, oh no, but I just thought, like, it doesn't feel like the pandemic's over.
I have.
So you did. So you worked.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
If you have a longer beard,
Uh
does it imply that you have a longer?
huh. No.
No,
No,
I mean,
okay.
it's not like the hand.
I mean,
if you have a big hand,
Whenever I didn't have a beard, it didn't mean I didn't have a penis. So like,
that's good. Yeah,
I mean, we couldn't say that about you, right?
I know. I'm shaved. Poor Erica.
Yeah.
I won't comment further.
She's no comment.
Sorry.
Yeah. So we had a look at a lot of street art right now so far, and why did you bring us here? I mean, are you trying to get us robbed or?
No, I mean this is one of the coolest parts of the city.
It's cool. Yeah,
it's still
a cool
under
part.
development,
It's
so
Yeah.
like what we have at the minute is we have an area which is struggling with development.
Yeah.
So what that means is there's like hoardings which you've so you can see. And then this is a building which is the library, and the library wants to basically demolish the whole back end and then build a new library. So they're like, yeah, we don't care, you can paint as long as you know we're going to knock it down.
Oh,
but
okay.
But
they never knocked it down.
Not
so
yet.
they're still there.
No, it's going to take a while. So like for
so
me,
street art is allowed only on buildings that are potentially going to be knocked down.
Not necessarily. I mean, we have lots of art on buildings here that is, you know, going to be permanent and going to be there forever and will be landmarks for until the paint falls off. But
are you a street artist?
No, I make things happen, I guess.
But you laughed a little bit. Like I think you did something.
Yeah, no, but
is there any of your artwork around?
No, I mean, look, when I laugh a little bit, it's because I think there's a part of me as I get older.
They wanted it to be there.
No, it's what I do is art. Is what I mean. Like, you know, I feel like I hang about with artists all the time, and I call them artists, and I'm not afraid. I'm kind of almost afraid to say that I'm an artist. Like, I'll call myself a creative. Yeah. Because like it feels like I'm a creative, but like saying I'm an artist.
Just for that, just because it's cool.
Well, no, but an artist.
What do you do specifically?
Yeah, exactly. An artist like then feels like you have to. Here's my art. It's my thing. You know.
Yeah. It's your craft.
Yeah. But this is my craft, right? Creating a circumstance where all this stuff happens. You know,
so you allowed all these artists to paint here?
Well, I raise the money, I get permissions, I invite them, I curate the space, we put them in the right order, we make sure that people that don't hate each other are painting beside each other.
Congrats!
You definitely make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Artists from all over the world.
What do you do? Do you raise the money and then you give them like, I don't know, 2%, then you...
Oh, I mean, less
give
than
the
that, less than that. No, I mean, no. I mean, like, certainly, you know, one of the reasons why we do the festival is because then that makes people sit up and pay attention to street art. So then they phone me and they say, I'd like some street art. And I say, well, that'll be this amount of money. And like, I keep a percentage. It's nothing like that.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, it's actually probably way less than most people in my line of work take. Because I really love the work and I want to see it happen, and I kind of...
Well, why did you start this? Why did you start helping all these artists?
Well, I started off... oh, God. I started...
The reason, I take your time.
Yeah, the reason, okay. I guess over a period of time, I began to work in festivals in particular, and I began to program events, and I began to see running events is not just, you know, making sure nobody died, but like which is really important, obviously.
Absolutely. Health and safety first.
But yeah, exactly. But like that's the base level. That's the very least you can expect. But what I'm really obsessed with is making really good events, making events that are transformative, and in particular, I guess in Belfast with our history, I'm interested in telling new stories, kind of making people connect in ways.
We are connecting right now.
Yeah, exactly. And like finding.
We can call it a small festival. We have
this
beer.
Is a pop-up.
It's a pop-up.
We have beer
and
pop-up community, right?
Right here.
When you do our tour, you're part of our community for.
Can you tell with a certain level of confidence that Mark and Erica can create your event on the spot anywhere in the world?
Boom. That's it. I should have just called you.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Like just smoke cigars and taking the money.
Can you say the whole phrase? I can say with absolute confidence that Mark and Erica can create an event on the spot everywhere in the world.
You want me to say that?
Yeah. Can you say that?
The camera.
So I can just cut that part. You know.
Okay. Hold on. I can guarantee that. What? Mark? I can guarantee.
I can say with absolute confidence.
Okay. I can say with absolute confidence that when Mark and Erica turn up somewhere, there's going to be an event, because they're event people, right?
Yeah, I love you so much. Thank you so much for your spontaneity.
Hey. Anyway.
I love you. You're
so
good. So you had these, and you know, I would like to tell you where I would like to go with this question.
Yeah, sure.
I would like to inspire people. You know, in life we do something to counterbalance something that we have, maybe a lack of something else. I'm using something a lot.
Yeah.
But I would like to help people that is looking at you now and that is listening to this story, and maybe they can go, oh, I feel that as well. Maybe I should follow his same path. You know. So maybe did you have like a dream or something that you wanted to help? You felt this this wish to volunteer?
Because you are serving
Look,
community,
artists,
yeah.
the
Well,
community.
no, but I mean, I'd like to think I'm serving a much broader community than that, even because what you're doing. So when you're bringing
friends,
art into community, you're not just serving the artist, you're serving the community, because a community with art is better than a community without art.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's kind of. I mean, I suppose, like, for me, there's not a Damascus Road moment. Like, there's a long period of time where I don't know what I'm doing. I'm very kind of insecure.
You know what you're doing now?
No, but like I have an idea of some of the things.
I have no idea either. So
yeah, I think what it is that I realized over time. What I've realized over time is that, I mean, this is maybe something that's specific to Northern Ireland, but like the skill set that I have, people don't tell people at school you should develop that skill set.
okay.
You know, so they don't say, "Hey, if you work hard, you could be like Adam."
You changed their accent.
You know what I mean?
That was
Yeah,
American.
so- you know,
Well,
they
so
don't-
you became
because that's what happens when you tell people something.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
change your
you
accent.
became a an American motivational speaker.
I'm role playing.
You gotta believe yourself.
I'm role playing. Yeah.
You gotta trust your
So,
gut.
Just I'm doing. You know. So how you can't. People. Nobody says like if you work hard, you could be like this, right?
So getting back to the art, and because you are making it happen from artists from all over the world. So why are
All
artists
over the world,
from
maybe just in Belfast.
No, from all over. These are street artists, if I'm not wrong, come from all over the world. Is it correct?
Okay.
So why are these street artists coming from all over the world to Belfast now? Because you said also some of this art has been created just a couple of weeks ago as well.
Are they coming
Others
now
been,
as we speak?
probably, yeah. I would love to know
Are they on the
why they
ferry?
are coming here in Belfast.
Well, Belfast has a tradition of mural art. I don't know if you know this. So there's we have the longest running continuous tradition of mural art apparently in the world, and it's very tribal. It's very much based on the traditional divisions that there are in our society. So in Belfast, we understand murals. We appreciate them, mostly because most people walk around feeling intimidated by the murals. So we speak that language. We understand what it means when somebody puts something on a wall. There's a message there, and we've grown up with basically having walls that have messages of well, you can't come around here, or this is this is an area for this community or that community or whatever. So when you put something that's more homogeneous, something that's more kind of about celebrating a broader cultural kind of collective identity, people respond to that immediately here because they understand the language of walls. I always say on the tour, we speak wall. We understand that language.
You speak wall.
We speak
I love
wall.
that.
Yeah. Because that's what we've been thrown down our throat our
Wall.
entire lives.
Yeah, wall.
Yeah.
Was
It's not a real language. it's a metaphor.
It's like
It's
they
making up now.
understand the
I made
street
it up.
art
Yeah.
better than any other.
Yeah, exactly.
I would like to get a conclusion for the interview about your contribution and how does it satisfy you? Because you feel satisfied at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's kind of I think it all roots for me about I've grown up in a divided society. Effectively, I grew up in the bubble, and I think in my
Can I
practice.
ask you how old are you? Just to understand.
I'm 49. I'm nearly 50.
Okay, so
No.
just to
Much
understand.
younger.
Oh, thank you. That's very.
I would have
said you
said
were-
16. At the most.
It's okay. Don't worry. I'm fine. The beard takes years.
No,
off.
it was just to position you in the order of the events.
So yeah, I was 22 when the ceasefire happened. So,
Oh, okay. Did you suffer from this, or were you?
Look,
Are you suffering now?
Well, I mean, what I would say is that did I have a direct impact? Was I injured? Did any of my family get killed, or
Yes.
did I experience
okay.
a massive trauma?
Yeah.
The answer is no. But
Okay.
what I will tell you is that as a country, we are still traumatized. That it doesn't matter if if you don't experience the direct, impact of violence. As a society, we grew up with this kind of weird fear that we didn't really realize was there. It was this kind of actually, this is a really good opportunity to talk about the cage. So the bar that
what's
we were,
this? A
so
cage above the pub?
the cage
Well, actually, we got this exquisite
yeah,
beer.
yeah. So that cage, right, is the last cage in Belfast. And by that I mean most of the bars in Belfast used to have cages on them. right? Because most bars were either associated with one religion or another. So if you wanted to kill a load of people from one denomination, you would be able to just throw a barrel bomb in, or like come in, like people would sometimes just go in with automatic, kind of machine guns and kind of just, machine gun into bars and do that kind of, that's the sort of environment in which I grew up, right?
Wow, yes.
And the cages were there because what used to happen was you would get to the bar and you would buzz on the door, and in most cases it would be like, well, they know that you're a regular and they'll let you in, but in a broader level it was like they see that you don't have a machine gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then they would buzz you in and you would go in.
Was it a sort of...
Have you ever held a machine gun?
No. What's that?
It was sort of a metal detector.
No, it was a really just a visual thing. You can see the camera there. Yeah.
Yes.
So like what happened with this bar, and this is the important part, is that, whenever Pedro, who's an amazing landlord of this bar,
Pedro.
he took over this bar.
Sounds like a Spanish name. Pedro.
Argentinian.
Argentina.
Yeah, we were close there.
Thank
So
you.
anyway, so he basically
You're peaky.
He basically said, no, we don't take the cage away. We keep the cage because the cage, we reclaim the cage because we don't want to paper over the past. We don't want to pretend that the past didn't happen. But we want to reclaim it, and that enables, like, normally it's actually a bit bare now, but normally there's like flowers in it and stuff, so it's like makes it look pretty, but like also so that I get the chance to tell you. But it's important we don't forget how shit it was, right?
Yeah.
So even if I didn't have that trauma, like when you grow up I told you earlier about like, every bus journey I got, a guy with a machine gun, like army person with a machine gun, like get onto the bus and check for bombs.
Yeah.
Now, you get used to that. But then when it stops...
Unbelievable.
But when it stops, you go, well, fuck, that was terrible. Do you know what I mean?
But you want to keep it because you have grown up with it.
But you don't realize how bad it is until it's over.
Yeah.
So you don't think you're traumatized until it goes away. And then, like, and I'm not claiming there's thousands and thousands of people in our society who are way, way more badly damaged and had way worse things happen to them than me. But as a society, we're all recovering from that. And in answer to your questions, like what drives me is like this idea about trying to build space, shared space that everybody can inhabit, where we can talk about these things and move on and stop, kind of living in silos where we don't resolve these issues, and like everybody just carries everybody carries their trauma.
And applause to these to talk about things so that you can find a solution. Yeah,
exactly.
And
I can improve society, and you can make a city better, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And shared space, public space is really important. Like, so, we've spent the last 50 years of our, not just in Northern Ireland, but everywhere, where we've kind of made the city centre about like a temple to capitalism. Like, we've built this entirely retail-led kind of thing, and now it doesn't make any sense, like, because nobody buys shit in shops anymore. They all order stuff online. So if we're going to find a meaning to cities and how they work and like how people connect, and what's the meaning of a centre where different people from different parts of the city can meet and connect, it's not going to be about buying stuff. It's going to be about community and art and all that. It's sharing, exactly, all that kind of stuff.
And doing things, creating.
All that kind of crap.
Creating. Creating. I had one last, second question. What's your favorite street art piece in Belfast?
Okay, I normally don't answer this, but I'm going to say that, remember the piece we saw earlier of the boy holding the dove?
Oh, yes.
So that is actually a portrait of my son.
Oh.
And he, like, it's not a portrait of him because it's him, it's just because it served the purpose of the artist. But the piece is called The Son of Protagoras, and it was by an artist called MTO who came to Belfast, and he was kind of surprised at how there was still quite a lot of divisions in our society. So you remember there was the dove, the boy's holding the dove, and the two arrows have killed the dove, and the two arrows represent two religions. And Protagoras is the first recorded agnostic.
Pythagoras.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, Pythagoras, yeah. Oh, I thought he was a philosopher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first recorded agnostic, I see no evidence of God, so how do I know they exist?
Exactly, yes.
Right? So that's his sort of, he was getting paid a lot. Yeah.
You can finish drinking this.
I know I'm not gonna. I'm
You
had
sure?
all this.
Come on. I'm gonna
It's
switch off the.
Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
I'm gonna switch off the camera. You're gonna drink it. Yeah.
No, it's good.
And from Adam.
And Adam.
Yes.
Adam,
Yes.
thank you so
yes,
much
yes.
for
Thank you so much. You've been
showing us
fantastic.
around.
We had just started the program, boom, and the pandemic hit, and it was.
I love the boom as well. Boom! I love, yeah.
And then it's like a brick.
Can we have a collective boom? Boom!
Boom!
Now we are in Belfast, so you know.
We gotta be careful with the boom.
Yeah,
that's
sure,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, we heard a little bit about this, but
Welcome back. We are here
Welcome
with
back.
Simon Mulgill, the creative director of the MAC Centre
Yes.
in Belfast.
Okay, Simon, how did you become a creative director?
I have no idea, Marco.
Does people know that you're here working?
I sneak in.
In the morning.
Yeah, and I look interesting and try to keep myself busy. I walk about with notepads and things. How did I become the creative director of the Mac?
Nobody knows who's
What's
Simon.
your story?
That's it.
There's a word in English when someone looks busy but is not, but is just pretending.
There's lots of words I can think of.
Your vocabulary.
Our vocabulary, yeah.
I'll not say that. I'm here 5 years. The building itself is 10 years old.
Okay.
So next year is our 10th anniversary.
Okay.
So we opened in 2012. I joined in about 2016, I think.
Okay.
And prior to that, I'm originally from Northern Ireland, and
Okay.
I left when I was about 18, in 1982, I guess, when the conflict here was raging.
Okay.
But of course, it's important that you travel, and no matter where you live, I think to travel and experience new things. So I went off to England,
Experiencing people.
Yep.
Food.
all of that, and
All of that.
I went off.
Art, music.
Everything. So I went off, and as you can imagine, Northern Ireland, Belfast at that
Weather?
time. Pardon?
Weather.
Weather, well,
As
yeah.
much as you travel, you're gonna experience different weather.
Of course.
If you go to Dubai, it's gonna be very. What's the weather like here?
Well, it's hard to say now with climate change. It rains a lot. That's okay. We have about, I don't know how many million different words for rain.
Yeah.
Noticing that the summers are becoming a little more wetter,
Okay.
and our extreme temperatures are actually rising.
Okay. The lowest are rising.
Yeah. Winters are getting much milder,
Nice.
more mild.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, it isn't. It's a bit worrying.
Yeah.
Because it's like a good
Yeah, it's the
frost.
traffic comes
to
I think it's gonna be fine. Yeah.
hopefully. Well, I admire your optimism.
Hopefully, yeah.
So I
Yes.
went off to university then. Went to Warwick Uni. Spent about 5-6 years.
What did you study at university?
Theatre studies and dramatic arts.
Dramatic arts.
Yeah.
So you
Italy.
started in
Yeah,
drama.
that was my thing.
To be an actor.
I wanted to be an actor or director.
Can you give us a sample? Can you do some? I don't know. Can you cry on cue?
No, you need to pay me first. That's the first rule.
That's the first step of the actor.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, first rule.
And how did it go? Were you supported by your family, friends?
Very much so.
Okay.
I mean, it was an unusual thing to do, I guess, in many ways.
Okay.
I mean, the opportunities back then weren't, they're still not great, obviously. But, we now have a thriving TV film industry here. Theatre is much more established. It has widened out a little bit more in terms of social access. Although, having said that, it is also constricting again because it's expensive to train, it's expensive to go to university,
Yes.
all those things that prevent people. There's barriers there that prevent people back when I was going,
To do and to learn. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. Yeah.
back when I was doing it, it was still difficult, but it wasn't quite as difficult.
Sure.
But whilst I was there, I also got involved in the university had a really strong students' union, so I got involved in the sort of rock and roll, entertainment, music side of things as well.
Were you having fun?
Loads of
Did
it.
you like it?
Loads, far too much fun.
So when you changed in becoming a creative director, are you missing acting?
How was the transition?
Well, it's been an odd one. I guess I came back here in 1988. Back then, to work in the theatre, you needed what was called not you need it now, but a thing called an equity card, which was a union card.
Yeah, you still need that now.
Yeah.
It's not mandatory, but I mean,
Exactly.
they're gonna screw you up otherwise.
But back then, you needed one. And so I came back here and I was lucky to get a job.
I think in the United States you need one of those.
Yeah.
It's
Now.
still mandatory now.
Still mandatory,
Perfect.
Yeah, it's very difficult. The exchanges between the two countries can be tricky. So I came back to get an equity card, and I started work as what they call an assistant stage manager, an acting assistant stage manager. So I was acting and doing a bit of stage management. Basically, my career was at that point
an acting stage manager.
Yeah. Acting assistant stage manager.
Oh,
so
okay.
You go on and you do a bit of
Yes,
your
yeah.
turn, and then you have stage duties.
And then you're backstage.
It sounds like an assistant manager that is acting. It's just pretending.
Not as grand as
So
that.
how do we do this? But he's an actor.
No. Because I wanted to learn everything about the industry that I was hoping to be in.
Oh, that's interesting. It's like having an overview, 360 degrees.
Exactly.
You were like a spy.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, you're really good at what you do. What are you doing? And so
What are you doing?
And I was lucky enough. I stage managed. I acted. I got assistant directorship jobs. I still worked in the sort of music side of things a little bit as well.
Yeah.
I picked up work as and when I could. To do what I needed to do. I was supported by theatre companies here and all the rest of it. I was acting, I did a bit of...
How did you feel? How did you feel in the middle of all of these? Because I feel like you've done like 1,000 things.
I have.
How did you feel? Did you feel like overwhelmed by Did you have many projects in mind, many things that you wanted to do? And maybe you were doing a bit of work here, a bit of work there. How did you feel? Did you feel a bit looking for the path? I wouldn't say lost, but were you looking for yourself?
Yeah. I think you are at that age. Kind of trying to discover who you are.
I still am.
We both haven't got there yet. And that's for sure. Very much so. People would say, "What are you? Are you an actor? Are you a stage manager? Are you training to be a director? What do you want to be?"
What did you say? What are you? My mother? Yeah.
I want the job that I'm doing. That's what I want to do. But I did want to direct, and then I want to produce plays, and I formed a theatre company here in 1992 with a few like-minded individuals.
Is this the company that you?
Do you still own the theatre company now?
No. It's one of the best theatre companies in Northern Ireland now. In Ireland, I would say at the moment it's called Prime Cut Productions. The artistic director there is a wonderful woman called Emma Jordan, run by the inimitable Una Cohen. They are fantastic people. What is so beautiful about that theatre company?
As in this room, no, but
what is really cool about that theatre company, the vision that we had at the beginning, they are doing it 20 plus years later.
So you left a legacy, so you built a legacy.
Ish. Their hard work has, it's been going for a long time now, and it's gone through a number of changes. But to see it thrive, and I mean, they could be doing so much more.
Yes.
Funding is so tight in Northern Ireland, incredibly tight, ridiculously, stupidly tight in comparison to, say, Italy or Germany or France or wherever it happens to be, even our nearest neighbours.
To me, for the creative industries.
Yes. Well, the arts in particular. I do that because the arts, for me, is a very broad suite.
Absolutely.
So what they do is...
So do you think that this is something important for a company that 20 years after, you're still focused on the same goal, with the same ethics? So is that something that you would suggest to someone that is about to do anything?
No, I wouldn't actually. For yes and no is the answer to that one. I think independent theatre companies that are not building based, they evolve as people change, as ideas change, as the times change, and they need to evolve.
You need to be flexible around it,
evolve with that. I think because you're reflecting back the society in which you live in, so therefore,
of course,
you do that. So it has many iterations, and it's the same with many of the theatre companies, the very vibrant independent theatre companies that we have in Northern Ireland, that they're doing the same thing. So I guess I was doing all that. I got into producing, I got into directing, I then worked at the Waterfront Hall. The Waterfront Hall is the iconic building sort of around just on the riverfront, the Waterfront on Ulster Hall.
So basically you were doing everything in the city. So if anyone would have gotten here as a tourist, that would have seen you as a priest in the church, and then down the hall, maybe the mayor, every time you just dressed up differently. I love that, yeah.
It's amazing because
one person
rumbled.
One person throughout the city, yeah.
I love it. And so I guess that every single job that you did across the creative industries, did you have any? Are you bringing each and every one of these influences of your jobs into the Metropolitan Arts Centre now?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Are you still?
Yeah, very much so. But what we are really lucky here in the Mac, we've got fantastic people that work here. We're sitting in one of our smaller gallery spaces. Whilst I have a breadth of knowledge about the visual arts, our senior curator, Fiona Holland, his knowledge and expertise.
I know. He calls me every day, and I give them directions.
He's phenomenal in what he does. So there is a partnership there, and within that we're expanding on what we call in our creative learning work. That will help marry and meld those practices together. So that's as I said, just before the pandemic struck, boom, we were ready to go with it, and that pulled everything back. But now the pandemic is the restrictions are easing. We're able to grow. The Mac is actually changing itself in its own direction and where it's going from. Any healthy arts organisation, I think, after a period of establishing itself, it needs to constantly look around, and it needs to look at what.
Also understand where they feel the gap in the market. Because you start with something and then you deep your roots more.
Yeah,
I think.
To learn more, so you get inspired from the place,
Absolutely.
and then maybe you think about something else.
You get rooted. You start to get rooted more because you say, "Oh, this is really working for us in this context." And I want you to.
We need to do more. So we're starting that journey.
What is it you do actually? Precisely.
Me, what do I do precisely?
No, you within this company.
Metropolitan Arts.
They can see
what do you do?
I do.
Yes. What do you do? What's your role?
Well, ultimately, I have the responsibility for the artistic program throughout the building. Artistic and entertainment side of things.
Okay.
We do a lot. In here, so not only do we do that, we have a thriving cafe bar.
Okay.
We have spaces that we hire out for people to rehearse or use. People can use them in cooperation with people, which we want to do more of. We hire the spaces out to corporate organisations who want a modern building that is reflecting their ethos. And very strongly, what we really want to be is a social hub in the centre of the city. And it's really important to stress that the conflict. Obviously I've lived through it, but there's a younger generation that hasn't. The city centre was a no-go zone.
Oh yeah! Every time we get into a cab or we speak with someone, and they always mention that people is not living in the centre, but they live outside.
Exactly.
And we haven't told them where we are.
Okay.
So we are in Belfast, of course.
Yeah.
But this place is Mac.
The Mac is the Metropolitan Arts Centre.
Correct.
And we are right behind St. Anne Cathedral.
St. Anne's Cathedral, right? Yes, in the Cathedral Quarter area of Belfast. So 20 years ago, this was a no-go zone. Derelict, it's changed beyond all recognition. The Mac was very much a pivot or a fulcrum for the growth of the area. It was conscious decision by government and city council and the arts community, or sort of the arts sector, to build a new building that could hopefully support the regrowth and regeneration of the city.
And then why
as a
is that?
cultural hub, then it's a cultural hub, I would say.
Correct. Yeah. That's what we're trying to achieve. Yeah. So
why is there a build homes now?
We currently have an exhibition by an artist called Anne Tallentire, who is across our 3 galleries. And her work deals with, among many things, she looks at the materials of building. She talks about geography and so on within her work, where people live, the spaces that they inhabit. So her exhibition is a response to that. We work with we've just started more detailed work with a series of people we call the associate partners, who are groups that work with.
What's the age of the groups?
From
anyone. There's no restriction.
Yeah.
And then what do we have on this table? Aside from cappuccino and Erica's coffee.
Well, right. And I noticed that I don't
Which
have
we have to be very careful about.
Yes, indeed.
This is part of the art. It's a pinch of Italian art.
We added a bit of art.
Yeah.
So one of the associate partners that we work with are PPR, that's the Participation and Practice of Rights.
Okay.
And they are very much issue-based, driven by social concerns. And that's another thing that the MAC is about. We want to talk about, we wanted this place to be as open and as accessible and as diverse as in the truest sense of its word. As we possibly can. One of the big issues that are affecting people in Belfast is social housing and housing. Social housing. So whilst we're...
You said the housing. Yeah, is the...
Housing?
Housing, yeah.
Housing.
I love the accent, yeah.
Okay.
We say housing.
Housing.
Is our Italian accent.
Go ahead again, say it again.
Housing.
Housing. Okay, you're quite good at football too, I have to say. So.
Is he good?
Just in passing, obviously you won the Euros and all the rest of it. I can't not.
Just for that one, we have to win the rest. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. So we're working closely with them and with other partners, and this is an idea of co-design of people responding to the artwork that they've seen, and also bringing their own thoughts and ideas about what they have seen and what they want to articulate. So this is one small part of what we hope will be a broader approach in our work, both in our galleries, on our stages, and elsewhere in the building.
I think.
No, sorry. Please.
I can see it is a very much community. I can see that those are children probably draws. Right?
Drawings,
Unless you've made those yourself.
So also I can see different languages. Arabic here and many other. So it means that it's involving literally all the community.
That's the idea. I mean, what is really interesting about Belfast, in comparison to say like a city like London, Birmingham, Glasgow, Liverpool, Bristol, all those other port cities. I mean, Belfast is a phenomenal port history. But we haven't had in the city really a huge ethnic population, a diverse ethnic population that you will find in those other cities. It's only recently that we're starting to experience that. So, I mean, that could be...
Do you have Italians?
Right now we have a couple. That's a good start. Yes, of course we do have Italians.
We can reproduce ourselves.
The area that you're in, just right behind us, used to be referred to as Little Italy.
Nice!
Because of, I think after the war and so on, there's a lot of Italians came here. So that's literally just behind us.
Is the Belfast Italian area?
Yeah, it was then.
What do they do over there? Is there a local mafia as well?
It's all redeveloped.
Redeveloped?
Yeah. So, but there's still.
They put some fashion, we have some models walking by. In suits, maybe that's the Italian area. Everyone on a suit with sunglasses. I don't know. Shopping maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
Cooking, who knows?
Well, they're very much. I mean, the Italian families that came across, they're very much. The more northern, they're totally Northern Irish. That's the thing.
Of course,
They brought up families here and generations of families.
Just a mask,
and well, much like the Irish, the Italians in New New York and America.
Yes,
you know.
yes,
It's
yes.
completely melted with the culture.
Exactly. Yeah.
Talking about this, lots of Irish people in America. Oh, this is just a spin-off.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, there's a little bit of that, and they have, there's a number of significant Italian families that have contributed to culture here. Terry Cafola, I'm thinking of for a start. Victoria Cafola, just for two off the top of my head. There's going to be more.
Yes,
I'm getting old. So
if you're Italian and you have been forgotten inside this
Come
conversation,
here.
that's fine.
I
You will be able to
apologize.
create.
You'll apologize. Sorry, I still keep being fascinated by the build homes now. Is there a particular need for homes?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Without a doubt.
Is it you? Do you need a house yourself? And then you say, you know what, let's build more.
I'm okay.
You're okay?
Yeah, for the moment.
Okay.
For the moment, my wife and children tolerate me and the dog.
Yeah.
If
You're gonna be kicked out quite soon. Yeah.
that can happen. But on a very serious note, it is a huge problem with population issues, and also because of the sectarian divide that exists in the city. We're sitting here in a very modern building in a very sort of modern part of town. Half a mile up the road are the peace lines, where people, the huge defensive architecture that is built to preserve the peace. I guess there's a lot of hope that we're going to eventually be able to take those down. But there are a lot of areas that are contentious because of religious issues. And as a result, there's a lot of places that could be used as social housing, but aren't being used as social housing.
Maybe they're empty or abandoned or.
Well, it's just the actual ground itself that they could build it on is not being used because there's contention.
This is a lot in every city that I have been. I mean, from big as London to
France, Germany, all across
to
Europe.
Narva in Estonia,
Narva.
Everywhere there are empty houses and buildings that can be used for.
Of course.
For
to
social
welcome.
housing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a big matter.
And of course, it's getting harder and harder and harder for people to afford to buy their own homes and so on. I mean, so there's a huge pressure and it's a big issue.
So what can be done? What is the suggestion or the plan? What's the plan?
Okay, I'm not a politician.
No.
I can't.
What's your idea?
Build houses.
Just build the houses.
First thing, get practical.
Please build the houses to a cheap, and then give them for a cheaper price to people.
Well, also a good quality, affordable housing that can be either purchased or can be rented on the long term, like that we used to do.
What's the price of a house now, and what should be the price for an affordable house?
I haven't a clue. I mean, what's the price of a house now? It depends where where you're located. It's location.
But how? And it should be the affordable house like a half the price that is now, or a third.
Again, I'm not an economist. I guess it's got to be in line with the it's got to do with people's ages, what they can afford to pay, their own incomes, the opportunities that they've got, or more importantly, don't have.
Okay. I just wanted to have an idea because maybe you had some data, so maybe you knew that a house now costs 30 times the average salary, and instead it should cost 10 times the average salary.
I wouldn't like. I mean, I have my own figures in my own head, but I wouldn't like to throw those out.
No.
I'm kind
Sometimes you've got some statistics, and they.
Not that level of detail.
No.
I'll get it for you, no problem.
No. But I have them right now. Yeah.
Do you? Right.
That's why. Okay.
So this is one of the exhibition, and it's is this temporary?
Yes, I mean this is one of the smaller rooms. So we have 3 galleries. We've got about 3,000 square meters of contemporary art space, and this current exhibition is occupying all 3. This gallery is a sort of response. This room is a responsive room and would change quite a lot. We rotate the.
I love the word responsive room.
Yeah.
Because they are getting inspired, you're getting fed also.
So the exhibitions themselves turn around about every 3 months, and sometimes we have one artist across all 3 exhibitions. spaces, or we would have 3 artists, individual artists in each exhibition space. When the lockdown came, we lost about £1.3 million worth of self-generated income. That's pretty significant, whatever way you look at it. It's a lot of money. So, you know, the theatres are closed, the bars are closed, all those things. So it's going to be...
Me and Erica, we lost the same amount.
Did you?
Yeah.
Each?
Not together, fortunately, but it was still on 1.3. Come on.
Getting back to the artists that work here in the different galleries and they have rotating exhibitions, do they come from theatres and so on? And do they come from Ireland or
all over?
From all over the world?
All over. We do work by local artists, Irish artists, artists from the islands of the British Isles, and European and international work. It's very important, that we're a voice for reflecting our society and telling our own story, but it's also vitally important that we hear stories that are coming from other societies and other cultures to you know, have that interchange, to compare similarities, differences, all
so
that.
they can bring that cross-cultural experience as well.
Very important. In Northern Ireland, I think that is increasingly more important. We're on the sharp edge of Brexit, as I'm sure you probably have heard about.
Yes.
You know, so it's vital. That's why I was asking you before. You know,
of course, if we had any difficulties,
exactly.
because we live in London and Brexit was all
Very
over.
Italian.
Of course, yes.
And more,
we had to corrupt so many politicians in order to stay inside the country. So that was a tough time.
I do not know this man at all. I've never met him before.
He's the one that we corrupted, actually. He still has a lot of money. That's why I didn't want to give him my penny. Would you encourage any Europeans to come and live in Belfast?
Of course.
Okay, no?
Yeah, of course. And lots of them do. We are European.
Yeah.
You know,
I love that.
The Northern Ireland voted to stay within the European Union.
Okay.
Let's be very clear about that.
Yeah.
And our nearest neighbours, I mean, on the island on which we live, our fellow Irish people. You know,
I love that. I love that. If there is any people that you would like to connect with for your project, or if they want to hire you as a performer, I don't know.
Creative director.
As a performer, this is my new agent. So please contact him.
I take 99%. It's just a small clause that it's in the contract.
I mean, I guess
really,
if you're in Belfast, please come visit us. It's a very vibrant city. It has a huge story to tell.
People is amazing. It's amazingly polite. I have to say, we experienced this since the beginning.
Good.
It's unbelievable.
There's a good buzz about the city. There's a grittiness to the city, which is good. I think there's an authenticity to the city that hasn't been lost yet. It's in danger of losing that a little bit. But you know, so come now.
When we were entering this building, I've seen there are so many young people around, which look to me like students. Do they reside here? Do they work here during the day? Are they artists working on exhibitions?
Okay, so next door is there are 2 universities in Belfast. One is Queen's University, which is in the south of the city. This one that's next door to us is, good lord, it's changed its title. Is it the University of Ulster or Ulster University? Ulster University, I think it is. And it used to have its main campus outside of town. And in the recent years, they built a new campus right next door to us.
Okay.
And as of from, I think, this month and next month, and from here on in, there are going to be about 15 to 20,000 students who in this area going to university, going to college. A lot of them are art students. There's a lot of student accommodation being built specifically for that.
Do you mean within the MAC?
Not within the MAC,
no.
within the area.
Oh, okay. I thought
Within
some of them that were residing here.
Some do. Some
do.
Not in the MAC, but in the area. In the area.
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. And this is everything. And you can contact him for professional, just professional, for dating. We presented many people today. I still get the pleasure in presenting everyone that is with me, including you. So we interviewed many people today.
Yes.
And first and foremost, all the Irish people that we met here, all the people that was here actually, and no matter the provenience, I can use provenience.
Provenance.
The provenance, and they were all sensational. You know, very very friendly, very people. Just as we are.
They speak.
Yeah.
They speak world. They speak art. That's what
speak
we are.
love.
They speak love. That's what we
Yes.
are learning
We have been
here
told.
about
Yeah.
this.
Many of them, as you can learn from their interviews, they were inviting other people from Europe, from all over the world, to come here and stay and live in Belfast. It's amazing. I love it.
To create, to make music, to make
Exactly.
art, to make everything that makes your heart beat.
Yes, and I mean the place is beautiful.
Yes.
Just have a look.
We are in the cathedral quarter, if
Yeah.
I'm not wrong.
I think that, the more we travel,
Yes.
the more is I love to see love, and
Yes.
yeah. What do you think? What do you love?
I love people. I love. I'm loving meeting all these people face to face,
Yes.
especially after
Especially
such a long period in lockdown. So it's everything.
Especially
seems
during the
almost,
pandemic.
Yeah.
It's great.
Because we have been meeting so many people virtually during this
Yeah.
past year where we have been in lockdown. But right now we are having the opportunity to meeting them face to face,
Yes.
sitting on a sofa, sitting inside the museum.
Yes.
Seems almost surreal. So I loved that.
The tour that we did, it's very much focused on the creative part, the artistic part. In fact, hi my dear,
hello.
yeah, we already have friends now. We're
One thing
already
that
local.
one thing that we should mention
Yeah.
is that everyone we are meeting here knows everyone.
Yes, and now everyone knows us. We are local celebrities. We have people that is queuing. You can't see them. They're queuing to get an autograph with us.
And that's it for
Yeah?
me as well.
Oh, high five on this. Yeah, it's nice to agree.
Just for now.
You
then
broke my
we
hand.
might- sorry.
My hand. Yeah. Okay, it's everything from Mark and Erica, and see you in a bit.
Talk to you later.
Mwah.